listening to The Wayne Hall Show, where information meets music.
Now it's a note of violence in any shape or form. Just remember, the children live what they learn, you know? Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, me hear them make a through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a give us love and light. Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, we hear them make a through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a give us love and light. Now look on the country what they struggle from so far. Look where we coming from, now look where we are. We crippled, oh, by this effects of war. Every house in this city after the sport burglar bar. Your best friend, nowadays you don't know who they are. Anyone for your chin will left your brain on the tar. No one really know who took the cookie from the jar. No, you can't even trust a strange car. Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, me hear them make a through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a give us love and light. Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, we hear them make a through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a give us love and light. Now it's a note of violence in any shape or form. Just remember, the children live what they learn, you know? Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, me hear them make a through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a give us love and light. Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, we hear them make a through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a give us love and light. Now look on the country what they struggle from so far. Look where we coming from, now look where we are. We crippled, oh, by this effects of war. Every house in this
DJ Wayne, your dub master.
Your best friend, nowadays you don't know who they are. Anyone for your chin will left your brain on the tar. No one really know who took the cookie from the jar. No, you can't even trust a strange car. Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, me hear them make a through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a give us love and light. Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, we hear them make a through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a give us love and light. To get a gun down, no really hard. Easy to get a gun like how you get a phone card. Stop, send down distraction from abroad. Send some computer come a yard. Father take you standing at the home, and the mothers them build back on no hope. Calling on the youths don't take life for a joke. Police say good thing a guns for. Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, we hear them echo through the night. Now isn't it amazing? That even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a give us love and life. The country them say it in a very bad state. You're not safe in your house and you're not safe for your gate. Oh, man a killer, man a robber, man a rape. Not even the suckling pon the breast them say can't escape. Some a complain about high crime rate, unemployment, and that a help the crime escalate. And every man want food in a them plate. And more opportunity we want to create. Stop the guns from blazing, to the left and to the right. Oh, we hear them echo through the night. Now isn't it amazing? That even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a keep us love and life. Amazing. To the left and to the right. Oh, we hear them echo through the night. Now isn't it amazing? That even though we fuss and fight, Judge still a keep us love and life.
Oh my word. Hello, hello. Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Wayne Hall Show. It's so good to have everyone as usual on a hump day. Yep, in this edition of the Wayne Hall Show, yeah man, lots of information to share with you this evening. I hope you just sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right. I want to shout out everyone locked in and just, acknowledge everybody right now that's carrying the Wayne Hall show. All right. Let me see. Where do I start this evening? Yep. Let me see where I start this evening. All right. Trying to fire up on all cylinders here. I still didn't do all my sharing yet. But Mark Guy, oh my goodness, Columbia, South Carolina in the house. How are you, my brother? Good to see you. All right. M Gears, bless up. Rose Solo the Phoenix, how are you? Bless up yourself. Rollin John, good to see you, Mr. John. Always a pleasure, my brother. Okay. And to everyone listening on Instagram, and if you're on Facebook Live, all right. If you are on Facebook Live, I want to say good evening and welcome to this edition of the show. I know I stream on both the personal page and also on the Wayne Hall Show page. So I'm going to go to both. I promise I'll go to both. So I'm going to run over to the Wayne Hall Show page right now. And on the personal page, though, I see some chat going on. I want to say big shout out to Rolling John again. Keith Cole, good evening to you. Sky Voice Record, bless up yourself. All right. All right. Marcia Edwards. Marcia, I have to talk to you off the ear about the Toto. I can't talk on ear about the Toto. Okay? All right? You understand, right? Tracy and Clark, good evening and welcome. Hola. ¿Cómo está? All right. All right. Yeah, man. So welcome to everyone on that page. And then over here. All right. Is that the... Yes. So, sorry. A little under the weather this evening, guys. I apologize. I apologize ahead of time for the coughing. I got to say, oh, my goodness. Rudy Page. That's right. Music with a message, sir. Yes, I'll send it to you indeed over there. Got a shout out, Fresh FM Radio London. Yes, one of the platforms that's been gracious and carrying the Wayne Hall show. Presenter Clearly, hello. All right. Who's that artist? I'm about to tell you all about the artist and play some more of it. Cameron Shernet, bless up. All right. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I kicked off the show just now. And the song you heard is this. All right. Message in the music, like Rudy Page says. And the song goes like this, ladies and gentlemen, from the top.
No, it's a note of violence in any shape or form.
Christine Rendell, welcome. Good evening. Eyesight. The sound of eyesight. Let's go.
The guns from
blazing.
To the left and to the right. Oh, me hear them echo through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we first and fight. Judge still I give us love and light. Stop the guns from blazing. To the left and to the right. Oh, we hear them echo through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we first and fight. Judge still I give us love and light. Now look on the country where they struggle from so far. Look where we coming from, now look where we are. We crippled, oh, by this effects of war. Every house in the city after the sport burglar bar. Your best friend, nowadays you don't know who they are. Anyone for your change will left your brain on the car. No one really know who took the cookie from the jar. No, you can't even trust a strange car. Stop the guns from blazing. To the left and to the right. Oh, me hear them echo through the night. Now isn't it amazing? Not even though we first and fight. Judge still I give us love and light. Stop the guns from blazing. To the left and to the right. Oh, we hear them echo through the night. Now isn't it amazing?
That's right. So we open up the show this evening with a positive message. We've played this one like what? For 10, 12 minutes? About 10 minutes, all right? And it's eyesight, and the man says, stop the guns. Very positive tune indeed. Big up eyesight. Welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, out of one message into another. This is from a brand new album by Errol Moore. A Long Way is the name of the album. This is the one everybody keeps asking me to play some more of. to shout out Donna Herron.
Karma.
Mercedes Peterson, how are you?
We'll get you every time. Where you are going to, where you are going to, where you are going to. Oh, yes. Say you're living your best life with no regards to others. People around you. Everyone is suffering now. Telling me you love life with no respect for others. But your people evade you. You just abuse and abuse them. It will come knocking on your door. Say, karma will blow your mind. Hey, karma. What goes around comes back around, yeah. Karma. Say, at judgment time, you have no credibility. Oh no. Don't blame the fire when your body get burned. A long time you did I want you, but you never did learn. Fire, fire so hot, the heat rise. But no matter how you ball, no one hear you cry. Rivet it again. Karma. It will come knocking at your door. Say, karma will blow your mind. Hey, karma. What goes around, come back around, yes. Karma. Hey, hey, at judgment time, you have no credibility. No. Telling you again. Telling you again. Get together at just one love. One love, one love. Each one hate the other. Hey, so when you come down we can. So far as they on ya. So far as they on ya. Them just grab it, take it. Karma. Say it come knocking at your door. Say karma will blow your mind. Hey, karma will bring you down. Say hey, karma. Hey, hey. Say are you judgment time? Karma. Live for others as you live for yourself. Karma. Whoa.
Hey, the man said, live for others as you live for yourself. Karma. What goes around comes around. Ain't that the truth, huh? What goes around does come around. I've been doing this for 10 years now, boy. And I can tell you, what goes around comes around in this little community called the Caribbean Community of Atlanta. And sometimes the more things change, the more they remain the same. All right. I want to say a big shout out to everyone locked in on Linkage Radio 101.7 and 104.5 FM in New York City. HypeFM, Frankie Lex and the crew, big up to you. I want to shout out ClarkeTVNetwork, Chester Clark and the crew. Also, Viscosity Blend, Rupi T the Blender. What's good, my brother? Oh, man. I see Viscosity doing things. All right. Island Worldwide. I got to say a big shout out to the Sutherlands. Good evening. Sorry. All right. And also, your listeners over there at Island Worldwide, big up every time. Reggae Vibes Radio family, Cha. Yeah, the long time home of the Wayne Hall Show. What's up, Reggae Vibes family and listeners? Also got a shout out, Yardflow TV. Yeah, man, big up to Yardflow TV. Welcome to the vibe. Yeah, Energy Radio 1, Mr. Fenton Troy and the crew. I got to shout you out, man. And your listeners. Thank you, everyone that listens to the Wayne Hall Show on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 on Energy Radio 1. Mr. Trenton Troy, very passionate man, very involved. And when I get to tune in, I just love the energy there. So thank you for carrying the Wayne Hall Show. YouChooseRadiocom.com, DJ Smiles, VJ Smiles. I know you're still having a birthday until the end of the year. I know your celebrations aren't ending anytime soon, DJ Smiles. Kimon Hall and the team over there at YouChooseRadiocom.com. Oh, man, I got to shout out Rudy Page one more time. Fresh FM Radio. Got to shout them out. Yes. Also, we want to say big up to those watching. If you're on IG, big up IG. Bless up and welcome. If you're on Mixcloud, hello. Hi, Mixcloud audience. Good to have you, as always. If you're looking at me on Restream, hey, thank you for tuning in and coming back every week. I mean, the Restream audience just keeps growing. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Restreamers. YouTube. Oh, man. Thank you. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page, please do so at Wayne Hall Show on YouTube, all right? It's at Wayne Hall Show on YouTube. So YouTube/at Wayne Hall Show, and you should find me. And just subscribe so you see when I go live. And, we got plans. So you got to be making sure you catch us in all that we do. All right, one is already shout out IG. And if you're on the waynehallshow.com, about over 1,046 visitors in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Isn't that amazing? Over 1,046 visitors to the waynehallshow.com in the last 3 weeks. You can't beat that, man. I just found time this weekend to check into that. I couldn't believe it. People are going to my page. So thank you, everyone, and everybody who's ever shared the Wayne Hall Show page. I'm telling you right now, bless up and thank you. All right. Our guests tonight, we have 3 lined up for you. First, we start with Anthony Turner with the eReport at the bottom of the hour, and then we're gonna get into a conversation with Mr. Peter James, CEO of Affordable Senior Care, and also we're gonna talk with Miss Lorraine Smith. She's gonna be telling us about her drive, her campaign to represent the southern states and the global diaspora. All right. So we're going to talk to Miss Lorraine Smith about that. And we also have Dr. Miriam Baxter passing through to tell us about the Wakanda event coming up this weekend. Also, we have several events we're going to feature throughout the evening. We'll be showing you the flyer in between the music. All right. So welcome one, welcome all. I think after I said that, I really need some fireworks inside the studio right now. So here we go. Hold on. Why this song so slow? No, it's too slow. Come on now. Let's run it back from the top one more time. Here we go. That sounds better. Hey, China Nicole. My songbird sister, let's do this. What you say? Welcome, Desiree Diamond.
Just
sound of China Nicole, available on all platforms. Make sure you go out and get it. That one called Fireworks. Always love me some China Nicole. Big up Island Worldwide, the power of music. Here we go. Keith Cole with the name of the album, the title track. Hey!
It's swinging, my love, my love, my love. Don't look so sad in the party. Forget your sorrows until tomorrow. Don't be so sad in the party, baby. Whenever you're ready, hold my hands when you're ready. Let me rock you, rock with me, baby. Rock, 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 rock with me, baby. Rock, rock, rock with me, baby. Rock with me. Rock with me, girl. Rock with me. Hoo-wee.
Welcome, Clyde Smith. Mr. Keith Cole from the album with the same name.
My love,
Rock with me, let's go. So sad in the party.
forget your sorrows until tomorrow. Don't be so sad in the party, baby. Whenever you're ready, hold my hands when you're ready. Let me rock you,
Rock with me, baby.
rock, 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 rock with me, baby. Rock, rock, rock with me, baby. Rock with me. Rock with me, girl. Rock with me. Hoo-wee.
Welcome, Gail Fife. Andrea Johnson, how are you?
Swinging, my love, my love, my love. Don't look so sad in the party. Forget your sorrows until tomorrow. Don't be so sad in the party, baby.
Want to shout out Mr. Gary McCook.
Ready.
Good to see you, sir. How are you?
Hands when you're ready, let me rock you.
Rock with me, baby.
Rock,
King Tub, big up.
rock with me, baby. Rock, rock, rock with me, baby. Rock with me. Rock with me, girl. Rock with me. Just rock. Just rock. Just rock.
Ooh,
Into more music.
they want a piece of me, but they can't have me. I won't go that easily. Yeah, making moves with no explanation. Old heads having their conversations. Me mugging cause they know that we made it. They got a bone to pick with me. They told me cut my hair if you wanna get a job, and talk a different way if you want quicker responses. Trying to bring me down but yet demanding progress. What else do you want from me? That's why I don't run the stop signs, and I stay woke at all times. Cause when you see the flashlights, that's when it all goes down. And that is why I don't run the stop signs, and I stay woke at all times. Cause when you see the flashlights, that's when it all goes down. Oh, can't even walk down the street, they always watching. The cycle always repeating in the morning. One goes down, gather round. CNN is on it now, they shot him down. I can never think that it won't happen to me. When they took Breonna Taylor deep in the sleep, I can tell the hatred must be running deep inside you. But yet you wanna blame it on me. Whoa, whoa. Just because I'm young and I'm black and I'm free. That's why I don't run the stop signs and I stay woke at all times. Cause when you see the flashlights, that's when it all goes down. And that is why I don't run the stop signs and I stay woke at all times. Cause when you see the flashlights, that's when it all goes down. Oh yeah. I don't move like how you think most do. They ask me where I've been at, I say right where I'm supposed to. Now let me tell you I'm the realest, it's embedded in the flesh. Take the trophy home, then it's on to the next one. People think I'm older just because of my expression. I'ma be great, I'm not taking nothing less. I'm not taking nothing less. Oh yeah. That's why I don't run the stop signs and I stay woke at all times. Cause when you see.
That's right. More positive lyrics right here from Daniel John. Daniel John, brand new single says, don't run. And we can't afford to run. We can't get shot running, right? We're going to stand our ground. And for good causes. Yeah, man. So, not a big tune that you need to check out, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel John, brand new music, Don't Run. You know, Laviluja recently released a brand new album. And ladies and gentlemen, in the coming weeks, I'm going to say, if not next week, the week after, we're going to have Laviluja on here. And we're going to feature his new album, some tracks from it. We're going to talk about what Lavi been up to since JIIFSC winning days. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, up next is Mr. Anthony Turner with the eReport. But before Anthony does the eReport, I want to remind you about this great album by Errol Moore. To check it out, ladies and gentlemen, please go check out this album. Here we go. Introducing A Long Way, the brand new album by reggae legend Errol Moore. A Long Way features the big hit song Karma.
Karma will get you every time.
The title track, A Long Way.
Came a long way, and we still got a ways to go.
Reasons to Love.
Mama, gave me every reason to love.
Rastafarian Soldier.
In the army of Jah, I live. In the army of Jah, I reign.
And many more, including Can't Make You Love Me, Wide Awake in a Dream, I Like You, and Let the Music Play. Let the music play by purchasing your copy of the brand new album by Errol Moore, A Long Way, available on all digital platforms. You can also visit islandgroove.com. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And with that said, I'm going to bring in the man with the eReport, the man himself, Mr. Anthony Turner, now hot on the burner. Anthony! Welcome.
Yes. How you doing, William?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Well, we're enjoying the great weather that we've been having in New York, and I'm told it's going to get even nicer as the weekend unfolds, so just happy about that.
Are you saying my 60 and clear right now is not beating you up?
No, I think we're in the 60s, but the forecast is that we're going to get up to the 70s, so which is not typical at this time of the year.
I'm happy for New York. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Enjoy it, man.
Yeah. Anyway, lots of stuff to talk about, and the report is sponsored this week by Blue and Bougie Party, the chic edition, and it happens at the elegant Green Tree Country Club in New Rochelle. Good food, great vibes, and great music is, of course, the hallmark of the upscale New York party, and it takes place on Sunday evening, November 13th, from 4 to 10 p.m., and performers include IKEA, who just completed tour with Dexter Daps and Stevie Wonder of Reggae, Niger Boy. Tickets available on Eventbrite. which is Blonde Bougie Chic.eventbrite.com, or you could call 914-505-7481. And Wayne, I'm sure you must have heard the news about they're saying that dancehall queen, the new queen Spice, they're saying that she reportedly is in a coma in Dominican Republic. The reports are still, I still haven't been able to confirm it. It's been making the rounds since yesterday. Reports are that she allegedly went under the knife to do some body work, and I guess the surgery went wrong. It is unconfirmed, and I tell you, as far as I'm concerned, I know we're just hoping for the best, because we know in the past we've seen Spice do some stunts in terms of publicity stunts, and had social media posing, and our name started trending, only to find out that it was some sort of promotion for a new album or a new single. So, if you cry wolf, then maybe when the wolf actually comes, then people may not believe, or it may be true one of the times, and it's hard to know for sure. So we just hope that she is actually fine, and this is just another publicity stunt. I see where Marion Hall, and as you know, she's been at loggerheads with Spice and Marion Hall. Spice and Marion Hall, they've been at loggerheads for a number of years. They, of course, used to be best of friends for a long time, and they've been having their tit for tat for a while. And Lady Saw took to social media to actually offer words of prayer for Spice. So we're still, I don't know, what have you been hearing? The noise, or I don't know what to call it at this point.
Um, no. To be honest, Anthony, that's breaking coming from you to me right now.
Okay.
I don't know. I've not heard anything. So,
Okay. Yeah, the news has been circulating on social media since yesterday. Somebody brought it to my attention, and I've gotten a few WhatsApp messages and emails, and I know the first newspaper to actually report anything, it was the Jamaica Observer, but they made sure not to, they didn't carry it as a news item that it's confirmed. In fact, they're saying that they've actually reached out to Cool International, which is her booking agency, and they have been unable to verify the information. So the way they found an interesting way to report the story, in that because Marion Hall actually did a live on, I think it was Instagram, on Facebook, so they kind of used that as the lead up to doing the story. So, but as far as I'm concerned, it's still unconfirmed, so we'll kind of leave it at that. And the other big news that took place in reggae, this past weekend, I had an opportunity to, there was a big Berson Hammond and Friends concert called An Evening of Elegance, and that event took place at the NYCB Theater in Westbury, that's in Long Island, New York. And I tell you, initially I didn't have plans to go, and on Thursday, I was actually watching a rehearsal with the boss, and he was running through some of the songs that he was gonna be performing. And one of the songs that I actually heard him perform was One Step Ahead. His old 1970s, it's the 70s R&B song, one of the very first hits that Barris had, and that was just enough motivation for me to decide to go. And I'm so glad I did, because it was a exceptional performance. And I know most people have seen Barris perform a number of times, and it's typically the same. He runs through all of the hit songs that he has, and you never seem to get tired of them. But it's pretty much gonna be the same type of show. So I'd seen him in Jamaica at Reggae Sunfest, so I wasn't so motivated to go. But I'm happy I went because this show which was produced by Mr. George Cooks from Jammy's Entertainment. One of the things he did this time was he had booked Monty Alexander, jazz great. He booked Dean Fraser, who is another great jazz reggae musician who tours a lot with Tarrus Riley. And he booked Cat Core, Stephen Cat Core, who plays the cello in Third World Band. And I tell you, that combination of artists, also violinist Book Alford, and just having that complement of artists, and they took it a step further by typically Barris would have his band, the Harmony House band, as his backing band. But since they'd invited some friends along, they decided to put together an all-star lineup of artists, of musicians that included Derek Barnett, David Jones, Dean Fraser, and it was a really nice complement of artists. So they even started out with Book Alford doing a number of songs, including Reasons, and then they brought in Monty Alexander, and he, of course, got things popping, doing a number of Marley favorites, including Forever Loving Jah, No Woman No Cry, and a few others. And he actually had a grand piano, which he used to execute all the songs. Then it was time for the boss to make his way on stage, and that is when the party really started. And one of the things that made this performance a little bit nicer, in my opinion, is that Barris used the opportunity between songs to kind of talk to his fans. And he spoke about, being born in Anota Bay in St. Mary, the last of 9 siblings, and being inspired by the music of Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, and other great, talent from his father. I guess was a music collector, so he had exposure to a lot of music. But somehow his father had no interest in Barris pursuing a career in music. So it was his mother, Rosalind Patterson, who actually was one of those who had encouraged him to run away from home in Anota Bay, and he went to Kingston to live with some of his older siblings, and that is what gave birth to his musical career. And it just kind of just escalated, and he got better and better, and he was with Zappo for a while, and eventually he went on his own as a solo artist, hooked up with Willie Lindo, and Willie was able to bring forth a number of classic Barris and Hammond songs. But overall it was great. One of the high points of the evening was they had a tune for tune segment between Monty Alexander on his harmonica, and between Dean Fraser on his saxophone, and Dean would blow a little tune, give you like 5 seconds, and then Monty came back and gave you a little piece, and it was really entertaining, and I tell you, the fans really enjoyed it. And one of the things about this particular venue is that it's 2,800 seater, but it has this rotating stage. And so, there are actually no bad seats in the house. So people felt up close and personal, and really great event. So we just wanted to congratulate the organizers for putting this thing together. And finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about before I leave is that we've had a number of big Jamaican films over the years. How Did They Come, 1972, Smile Orange, Dancehall Queen in 97, Third World Cup, Shutters in 2000. But most of those themes have kind of focused on crime, drama, action, romance, or music. Well, there's a new movie that's about to hit the cinemas. It's called Nefarious, and it's actually Jamaica's first
Recording in
horror film.
progress.
and it's produced and directed by Reed Butler, who, as a kid, talked about being inspired by, the whole horror genre. One of the first movie that he started to watch was Star Wars, and he just got interested in doing writing about horror movies, and so this movie is about to drop. I guess it took a couple of years to create. It was shot in St. Andrew, St. Anne, and Trelawney, and so I think Butler kind of lives in Canada part time. So just something to look out for. And remember, you heard it here first. As always, we like to break some news here on the Wayne Hall Show.
Yes, sir. And before you go, I have a guest waiting, but Anthony, I have to say real quick to add balance to your reporting, sir. I did a little research while you're on, and here's what I found. Claude Mills of dancehallmag.com says Spice not in a coma and hasn't suffered a heart attack, says source. Now, I'm going to read it real quickly. A trusted source close to Queen of Dancehall Spice has denied rumors that she suffered a heart attack or that she was placed in a medically induced coma in the Dominican Republic after developing complications during a cosmetic procedure. Spice hasn't had a heart attack. Neither is she in a coma. Those are all lies. The rumors were caused by people not knowing where she was, and because she hadn't posted on IG, the source who asked that their name be withheld told Dancehall Mag. In October, Spice, who turned 40 in August, hinted that she would be off social media for several months. The rumors that Spice had developed complications were further perpetuated by a Facebook Live session this morning where Minister Marion Hall asked her fans to pray for the So Me Like It DJ. Marion Hall, who has a checkered history with Spice, that's in green, bold letters, announced a dancehall fan had said Spice had suffered a heart attack and had asked her to pray for her. And let me quote what Marion Hall said. Start quote. God of glory, I place Grace Hamilton at your feet. We had a lot of stuff. Some accusations of me doing evil. But God, today I understand this word you have given me. I am not bitter, God. End of quote. Minister Hall prayed. So, the article continues, and folks who want to read more can go to dancehallmag.com, Claude Mills reporting. So, Anthony, adding a little balance. So that way.
Absolutely. And I mean,
Yes.
I had my doubts about it because there's a pattern of deception, and whether she intentionally started it or just by her silence kind of perpetuated the rumor. So we're happy to know that it's not true. But we've seen this a lot before, whether intentional or inadvertently. So we're happy that it's not true. And yeah, Claude is a trusted reporter. So if he says it's not true, and I see he's quoting Ray Alexander in the story, who is, of course, Spice's booking agency for many, many years. So if Ray says it's not true, then I have all reason to believe it's not true.
Okay. Thought we'd go there. All right, Anthony. Thank you as always, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
Okay,
you take
my
care,
brother.
man.
Yes, sir. You take care. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for keeping it locked on the Wayne Hall Show. Yes, Christine said it sounded like a great show. I bet it was, Christine. Got to shout out Andrea Brown McNeish. Welcome, Andrea. And everyone else who joined us lately. And again, I got to say a big shout out to 101.7 Linkage Radio New York, 104.5 FM on the dial there. HypeFM, ClarkeTVNetwork, Viscosity Blend, Island Worldwide, Reggae Vibes Radio, Yardflow TV, Energy Radio 1, YouChooseRadio.com, Fresh FM Radio, Mixcloud, Restream, YouTube, IG, and the waynehallshow.com. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me jump right on over here. I'm going to switch headsets so that I can hear my guest, Mr. Peter James. All right, there we go. So let's go down here and say good evening and welcome, Peter. How are you, my brother? I guess that's not Peter yet. Okay. All right. All right. So let me go looking for Peter, right? In the meantime, let's do this.
Celebrate Christmas 2022 in fine style at Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com. Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary. December 17. Grand Palais Banquet Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com.
All right, Wayne.
Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary. December 17. Grand Palais Banquet Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com.
All right, Wayne.
Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary, December 17th. Grand Palais Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com.
All right, Wayne.
Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary, December 17th. Grand Palais Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com.
All right, Wayne.
Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary, December 17th. Grand Palais Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com.
All right, Wayne.
Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary, December 17th. Grand Palais Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com.
All right, Wayne.
Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary, December 17th. Grand Palais Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com.
All right, Wayne.
Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary, December 17th. Grand Palais Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com.
All right, Wayne.
Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary, December 17th. Grand Palais Love Catering by Jay's Caribbean.
Ah, there it is. Got that. Okay. Wow. Let me see what else might be playing in the background there. So apparently there was some issue with the power, and the computer my streaming went out and back in. All right. So let me go back to my guests, ladies and gentlemen, and admit Mr. Peter James back into the chat. All right. Hello, Peter. Good evening and welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Wayne. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay,
Apparently,
great.
the system restarted, and so we were getting stuff playing that would otherwise have been muted. So, had to happen when you come on, but sorry
I tell
about
you,
that.
man, I get blamed for everything on it, but the good thing is that I get praise for everything, so I'll take
Oh,
it.
Peter, that was the weirdest. Do you have another guest?
Yeah, my buddy was on Al, but I guess maybe when the system reconfigured, he went off. So Al, if you're
No,
listening,
I moved everybody out to
Okay.
try and find where the sound was
okay,
coming
here's
from.
Al. Al is here.
Yeah, so there's Al. All right. I just needed you to tell me who Al was. We have other people waiting to come on. All right.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me see here. Ladies and gentlemen, here are our guests. Okay. Now you can see them. Peter James is the CEO of Affordable Healthcare Solutions. Peter, talk to us.
Okay,
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Wayne. Good to see you, brother.
Yes, man. I know you offer a wonderful service. And let me see here, Peter. Are we going to tackle this elephant we have to eat in 10 minutes?
Okay.
All right. So you work, with final expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so, Peter, why final expenses versus other forms to pay for funerals?
Well, this is the most exciting topic in the world because
Ooh.
why a lot of people don't realize that we all have to go that way. So with that, what we do, we come alongside them. Final expense basically is final expense, meaning money that you put aside, resources to take care of either cremation or regular burial when someone passes away. Now, I must make a point here. We don't need it. You don't need it. It's your loved ones that are going to benefit from having a legacy versus having a burden when you're gone. So that's what it basically is. So why final expense? Because one, the price remains the same. It never changes. It's tax-free to your beneficiary. You can't be kicked off once you get the plan. And basically, it's a cushion, as I say again, to help your loved ones to mitigate when you pass away. You don't have to do yard sales, fish fry, GoFundYou, which is a popular thing nowadays.
Peter, I'm looking at your backdrop. It says Parachute Pete. First choice for final expense planning. Peace of mind for your seniors and their loved ones. Why Parachute Pete?
I tell you something, I do a lot of networking because I'm in 12 states, last time I checked.
Yes.
In Florida, somebody, my tagline, and let me just give it to you. It says, final expense is like a parachute. If you don't have it when you need it, you don't need it anymore. So I kept saying that, and people in some markets were looking at me and said, man, that's the parachute guy. We're going to call you Parachute Pete. So since then, I adopted a name, and it works. People remember Parachute Pete over anything else. Peter James or Affordable Senior Solutions. That's the name of the company.
Okay, good deal. Okay, Peter, let's see here. I know it's a touchy subject because we don't like to talk about death and funerals and all that. But can I benefit from a final expense policy while I'm still alive?
Absolutely. In the past, the policies that were prepared or put together, you had to pass away for your loved ones to benefit. No, with some of these new policies, there's a thing called living benefits. And what that means is that while you're alive, you can still benefit. Some of the policies the companies will allow you up to 50% of the proceeds. Should you have a terminal illness or a critical illness, they'll have you can get some of the money out while you're still alive. So if you want to do a cruise and say you had me as the beneficiary, you could always take some money out and say, Peter, let's go on a cruise before I pass away. What's left over would be used to take care of your final remains.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yes.
That's all good to know.
Yeah.
In terms of so life insurance policy, how is this different from a regular good old traditional policy?
Okay. Final expense companies kind of cater to the market that wants to get the money quickly. So usually within 48 to 72 hours, not in every case, but you can have access to the funds when a death certificate is produced. Now, some companies, based on the relationship that you have with them over the years, will sometimes, on the word of the agent, will release the funding quickly. So the regular policies, they can take as much as 6, 7 months, 8 months. If it goes to probate, it takes up to a year, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 years. This is designed to kick out quickly to facilitate burial, cremation, or whatever you need it to do.
All right. Peter, how can we reach you, man?
The best way to reach me is my website is Affordable Senior Solutions LLC.com, or phone number 678-973-5234. Again, 678-973-5234. You go to my website and my email is there and all that good stuff. And I want to let you know my buddy Al McNichol is in the house. He's going to share a little, because we work together.
That's right. That's right. All right. Al, how are you?
I'm doing good. Can you see and hear me okay?
Al, you're loud and clear. You're all over my screen right now, my brother.
Yes. So my background doesn't look as spiffy as my partner there, but this is the roots, yeah?
That's right. That's right.
Here's what I'm thinking. Before you get sick enough that you have to consider, or that your family would consider, how you'd like to be, how do you say?
Disposed of.
Yeah, disposed of. I'm the one that says, let's look at your life. Let's extend your life. Let's have a good medical plan, a good health plan to take you the rest of the way. So my point then has become, if you're 65 or around that, or if you're disabled, all of whom can expect to qualify for Medicare, it means you have some options. Now, there are really only 3 options. One of them is what they call original Medicare, where you just take your Medicare and the bill you get is 20%, and it gets to your house before you get home from the hospital. Yeah. The second item is let's call it a supplement. So it supplements that 20% that you're going to get hit with no matter what you do. This is Medicare, supposed to be covering you, right? It only covers you part way. Now, you heard of Joe Namath and
Yes.
Jimmy Walker. It's free. It's free. They are not lying. They can't lie so blatantly. But the words they use and the way it goes could be confusing. So what I say is McNichol Financial Group, which I'm a part of, has McNichol Financial Healthcare integrated. And that integration gives me the opportunity to talk to people about healthcare. And Medicare for seniors, which is the topic, is what I do for a living.
Yes. Awesome. So, do tell us a little bit more. You mentioned Medicare, and that a lot of the Medicare talk is out there right now because, as it is right now, the window is open. But why is everyone confused about Medicare? Tell us in the quickest way possible how we can
Okay.
clear up
Okay.
that confusion.
Yeah, if you know that, I'm going to tell you why it's confusing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to clear it up, not in a second. There's part D, there's part A, there's part B, and then there is plan Z and plan X
Gotcha.
and plan Y. What are those and how does it affect me getting my Medicare?
Yeah, yeah.
Worked so hard for.
So it has different parts to it that if we're not figuring out how it applies to you as an individual, it can affect the process of getting it when it's time for it.
It can affect the choice you made, that some of which you can't remake.
Oh, it's sad. So how do we prevent that from happening in a bad way for us?
You really want to talk to somebody like me.
Okay.
Al McNichol.
And I am going to lay it out to you.
How?
It may
Yes.
take 10 minutes. It may take 10 hours. It may take 10 days. I have a couple of people waiting on me right now because it's open enrollment, of course, because they're taking my input and they're just studying it. But I don't make the decision for them.
Yeah.
What's the
Okay.
number you can reach out?
So how do we reach you?
You reach me by saying McNichol Financial Group. And that's what you type in on your browser. Or you remember 678-575-8494. That's 678-575-8494.
Al, you left something with Al. Spell McNichol for them because some people are going to spell it.
McNichol is, I'm Scottish, right? Mick, McNichol. McNichol. Financial, no S, not McNichols and not financials. McNichol Financial Group.
Okay. Awesome. How much does it cost to relieve ourselves of this Medicare debt, you know? How much does it cost to be free from medical debts?
Well, let me tell you. The first option I talked about, of which there are three, is going to hit you 20% on your way home.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it gets there before you do.
Wow.
The second choice is having a supplement, and between $120 and $160 per month, you can stave off that 20%. The third option is, if you can get, and there are reasons why you might not be able to get number two, is you go to number three, and that's what Joe Namath says. Come on, it's $0 per month. But you're going to have co-pays and you're going to have co-insurance. Let's talk about which plan of the many plans that are good for you. That's what I do.
Okay. Sounds great. Sounds great. All right. Well, final say, Peter.
678-575-8494. Al McNichol.
Okay.
Awesome.
And, it's affordable senior solutions LLC.com or 678-973-5234. And just a parachute thing. Final expense is like a parachute. If you don't have it when you need it, you don't need it anymore. Your healthy choice for final expense planning.
That's the way to end it. All right. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes,
All
thanks
right.
for having us, Wayne.
You're
Appreciate
welcome, and I appreciate you using the platform.
it.
Sorry about the rush and the technical issues,
Mhm.
but I think the message is out there loud and clear. And we
We were
can always
served.
bring you back, Peter.
We were served. All right. All
I
right.
can
Thank you
always
so
bring
much,
you
Wayne.
back. Thank you, man.
Appreciate
Have a
Thank
great
you.
rest of the
Bye.
evening. All right.
it.
Yeah, I can count the time I almost say what's on my mind, but I didn't. No, I didn't. And just the other day, I wrote down all the things I'll say, but I couldn't. No, I couldn't. Baby, I know that you've been wondering. Oh, so here goes nothing. In case you didn't know, baby, I'm crazy about you. And I will be lying if I say that I could live this life without you. Even though I don't tell you all the time, you had my heart a long, long time ago. In case you didn't know, whoa, 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 the way you look tonight, that second glass of wine, that did it. That did it. There was something about the kiss, girl, it did me in. It got me thinking. Oh, it got me thinking. All the things that I've been feeling. It's time you hear them. In case you didn't know, baby, I'm crazy about you. And I would be lying if I said that
Anthony Malvo from his brand new album, Matured. Make sure you go out and get it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Be sure to go out and get Matured. All right. So, gonna bring in some other guests here. I'm gonna bring you my next guest. Okay. All right. And we're gonna be talking about an event coming up, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend. So let me go on over to Zoomland. All right. Yes, there they are. I see some guests here. Okay. Let me say good evening. Can you hear
Good,
me?
good evening. I can hear you.
Very good. I hear you loud and clear as
Great.
well. All right. So just want to let the audience know that we have Dr. Baxter, and she has a guest with her that I'm sure she'll be happy to introduce. They are sporting their flyer, ladies and gentlemen, the Black Diamond Wakanda Gala, which takes place this weekend. So, Dr. Baxter, we unfortunately we have about 10 minutes. So
Okay.
let's make the most of it
I'll
in
try to
terms of
do
what
my
you
best.
do and the event coming up on Saturday.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for having us. I am Dr. Baxter, and I'm here with Lieutenant Roland of Fort Lauderdale. Lieutenant Roland, you can say hello to everybody. Can he hear me? Anyhow, we are hosting an event called Black Diamond Minding My Own Business, the MMOB experience, the first time in the US of A. For the past 5 years, we've been hosting in the beautiful island of Jamaica. So this is our first year hosting in the United States, and we're excited about that. This year, our theme is called Black Excellence. Well, it focuses on Black excellence, the construction period. And we are in conjunction with Teach the #1, Save the #1 foundation with Lieutenant Ken Rowland. And so we're hosting an event this Friday at the Marriott on North Andrews in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and that's 6650 North Andrews, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And we start our encounter Friday night at the Marriott, and Saturday morning we're going to have a panelist called Melanated Men that are going to answer questions to the challenges that we face when it comes to Black excellence and challenges in our community. So that will take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then that night we would have a social, and following will be our formal Wakanda Gala, where we're coming out in our African attire and we're just going to have a good time. Our keynote speaker is none other than our very own Senator Dr. Rosalynn Osgood. And that Sunday, we're going to have Sunday service. So we're going to have a weekend fun-filled. It is free.
We're losing you, but we do have the
free except for the gala, by which it will be a fun
yes
raiser, and that gala is only
Dr. Baxter, if you can hear me, we're not hearing you very well right now. Would you like us to just use the opportunity to bring in Lieutenant Ken Rowland? Lieutenant, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me.
That's right. It seems like after we brought you in, you had jumped back out for a little bit. So Dr. Baxter had tried to get you to introduce yourself real quick to us. So why don't you do that real quick?
Well, my name is Lieutenant Ken.
Okay.
And
yes, go ahead.
Lieutenant can say something. Absolutely.
Yes, go ahead, Lieutenant.
I am the first African American in charge of a white beach patrol on the East Coast of the United States. And it's been a plum-pleasing pleasure to be the recipient of the Black Diamond Award for Excellence. That will be presented at the Wakanda Gala on Saturday, November 5th. So we want everybody to come in their royalty, their Black melanated people royalty attire, dressed to impress. And this is all a fundraiser to help people that look like us learn how to swim. There were 30 drownings in the state of Florida, and 16 of those drownings were people that look like us and were melanated.
Wow. Okay.
So you can see just how important it is when half of the drownings that occurred in the state of Florida, most of them are people of melanation.
Awesome. Great information. That's interesting. Wow. I had no idea that there was a statistic like that in terms of drowning. Let me see if Dr. Baxter is up and clear again. Dr. Baxter, unfortunately, we couldn't hear you well towards the end of what you were saying, so we switched over to the lieutenant. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you perfectly well. Thank you.
You sound great now. And just so you know, I can have the flyer up while you talk. You don't have to worry about sharing the flyer. I can have that up for the audience. I have it up. In fact, I'll make sure it's up right now. And that way you don't have to worry about the flyer. So as you talk, the audience right now is actually looking at the flyer. Sorry you got interrupted, but you were saying the location. You broke it down. You got to where we're at Sunday, and then you kind of went away. Yeah.
So it's a fun-filled weekend from Friday to Sunday. Friday will be our encounter. And then that Saturday, we have an all-male panel from 10 to 2. And the social for our formal gala will be from 6 to 2. We're going to have our Black Diamond Award recipient and our Community Award recipient, of course, Lieutenant Roland just share with you guys.
Let me ask the question, how long has the Black Diamond Wakanda Gala been around?
Of the fundraiser, and he is our recipient this year. Also, Belinda Why Not, she's our community recipient this year. And then we're going to Sunday with Sunday service.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, well, actually, the Wakanda Gala, we are celebrating the life of Chadwick, of Black Panthers, so Wakanda Gala. How 10 years? Yes. And this will be our first year in America. The past 5 years we have been in the beautiful island. We brought people into the interior part, Jamaica. Yes. And we brought them in. We were able to stay yes.
Awesome.
I don't know if you're hearing me well,
yes,
but
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you've done this in Jamaica. Now you're doing it here. And I'm looking right now. I see where your recipient who is on with us, Lieutenant Kenneth Rowland. The keynote speaker will be Senator Dr. Rosalind Osgood. Elder Belinda Knox, recipient of the Community Award, will be recognized. And you, Dr. Baxter, will be the gracious host. So looks like it's a great weekend for a great cause. How can we donate or purchase tickets?
Okay, not a problem. You will go to www.teach1save.
Stay right there.
Teach one save one foundation.com, and you can donate or purchase. Yes.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, there it is on the screen. It's www.teach1save1foundation.com. That's where you go and you can donate. If you're not in Fort Lauderdale and you don't want to fly the jet in this weekend, you can probably donate to the cause because, as it says, you teach one, you save one. So, ladies and gentlemen, please support this great cause. And Dr. Baxter, tell us a little, anything else on your heart before you go this evening that you'd like to share?
Yes, we're really seeing issue. I was out of the country and I see a lot of infrastructure going on, but the mindset of the people and us as a whole and a body, we're not moving progressively as we should. And so this is an opportunity for us to come together and have some relevancy and strategy 10 years and really set that pace for our children.
Awesome. Lieutenant, if you're still there, are you excited? Are you excited, man? What can you say to others in our community in terms of the model you have been and being recognized? How does it feel to be recognized? And what's your message to other members in your community?
Well, one thing I want to say is that for thousands of years, melanated people of color were the greatest swimmers on the planet. And then along came this thing called slavery and took away all of that inherent African tradition. You know, you're not truly educated unless you know how to read, write, and swim. And swimming was a way of life for us, and it took that away from us. So I am just so excited to use this medium to spread the gospel of water safety, to see what I can do about changing the statistics when it comes to people of color, melanated people who are struggling on their bucket list to learn how to swim. You'd be surprised of how many melanated people do not know how to swim. And so that's one reason why the statistics is so high, because of the lack of the swimming acumen. So I want to change that. And by having this fundraiser, we can definitely impact our communities. And we're going to take this show around the world and preach this gospel of water safety.
I love it. I love it. Lieutenant Roland and Dr. Baxter, I want to thank you for your time this evening. I want to wish you all the best. No, please don't be a stranger. The Wayne Hall Show platform will be glad to have you. I got to shout out the migraines for connecting us.
Michelle.
Yes, Michelle and Wayne. My wife's Michelle, by the way.
Yes.
So it's two Michelles, two Waynes. But I'm happy for the connection. All the best this weekend. And let me know early when you're doing something else again so we can help to promote on our platform for you, okay?
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your evening, and thank you so much. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Wayne Hall Show continues right here, and we're going to have more guests for you coming up. All right. We have someone who is campaigning to be our representative in the southern states for the diaspora, and I cannot wait to have her on for you. It's Miss Lorraine Smith, and she's going to tell us all the great reasons why she is supposed to be our next choice. So keep it locked. Don't go anywhere right here on the Wayne Hall Show. All right. That's not exactly what we wanted there, right? Here we go.
Christmas 2022 in fine style at the Mikey Sparkle Christmas Party, an all-inclusive dinner and dance affair, Saturday, December 17 at the fabulous Grand Palais Banquet Hall, 3540 Club Drive, Lawrenceville, Georgia, 30044. Doors open at 8 p.m. Dinner at 10. Live performance from the legendary Lukey D.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
Backed by the SWAT Band, Bugsy Bam Bam, DJ Carlton, and DJ Cold Rice on the ones and twos. Admission 60. Sound by First Love. Catering by Jay's Caribbean Cuisine. Tickets at MikeySparkleOnline.com. Park proceeds to the United Friends of Highgate St. Mary. December 17. Grand Palais Banquet Hall. The Mikey Sparkle Christmas Party 2022. Have a sparkling Christmas. Don't miss it. A Mikey Sparkle production.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening again, and welcome to this portion of the Wayne Hall Show this evening. I have my guest, Miss Lorraine Smith, on here on screen, and I want to say good evening and welcome. How are you?
Good evening, Wayne. I am doing absolutely well.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Let me start by apologizing for the late start to our conversations. We had a couple of things that didn't go as we hoped, but it happens with technology, of course. But here you are, and guess what? No sweat, no rush. We can learn all we need to about you. I do have, as a matter of fact, Miss Smith, just go ahead and tell us a little bit about you, because you have a mission to represent us in the diaspora. But we're going to get into that. Just tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, Lorraine Jacqueline Smith. I was born in Kingston, raised in St. Catherine, attended St. Catherine High School. And my background started very early in giving back to my community, exemplified by my parents, especially my mom, who I saw her to be the first community social worker that I know, someone who took care of everyone. I am an author as well, and
Awesome.
I wrote about that in my book, Through the Tears I Rise, in terms of the love that my parents gave to me, but also the love they gave to others. I am a licensed professional therapist by trade, and that came out of the way I was raised. I know that's a passion of yours too as well, working with individuals with disabilities.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. When you say therapist, can you be a little more specific?
Mental health therapist.
All right. I'm
Special
loving it.
education, autism specialist, a few
Wow.
threads there that we have in common. Yes.
I love it. Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. Yes. Sorry,
So,
I
yes.
yes,
So we
that
we
piqued
do
my
have a lot
interest.
to talk about here.
Yes,
Not just
that's
the
right.
diaspora, but what we have in common in terms of our passion and our love for people. I have a background in business. My first degree is in business, and that was purposely chosen because of where I saw myself going. Even as from I was a young person, I always wanted to own my own business. So my first degree is in business, second degree is in psychology, my master's is in mental health counseling, and I'm completing my doctorate in leadership and management. So,
I can't help but giggle because yes, there's a lot of similarities here. Oh my
yeah, and
gosh.
that comes from when you understand the call that is on your life, but also when you answer that call. I understand
Yes,
from a very
yes.
young age what the call was, and the call was to serve, and it is still to serve. And so I listen to where I'm guided to. I've been in social services for almost 30 years, and that was certainly guided from when I came here to the US. I've worked in all areas of social services. And when I
Wow.
say all, I mean all from school to community-based, residential day program, hospitals. I've worked with military personnel. I've worked on a inpatient psych unit with on a military unit that was created for those who came back from the war and for their family members. So I understand community-based service as well as programs. I and also how to volunteer. I volunteered in helping our own Jamaicans here and also back in Jamaica, and I've volunteered here in the US. I am also the owner of two companies that provide supports and services to individuals with all types of disability. So I don't just talk, but I walk the walk.
Right.
I
And
give
and
back.
and I tell you that is a whole conversation by itself. Now, you've worked in a lot of different areas and I know we're going to talk about the diaspora, but um what have you zeroed in on a specific area? Have you specialized in one area or do you still offer a broad range? I mean, what is your service like right now?
In terms of as a professional,
Yeah.
I consider myself a generalist when
Okay.
it comes as a mental health professional, but I've gone back and become certified as a trauma professional,
Ah, there you go.
and and also I'm also certified to provide more services, more supports for individuals with anxiety, bipolar disorder, ADHD. I make sure that wherever I see the trend,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm more certified in supporting, especially individuals who are from the African American Caribbean descent, because I'm a multicultural therapist as well.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to support all individuals who are seeking therapists that looks like us. Um,
And that's so important. We cannot stress that enough. You want you want to be treated by someone who understands your upbringing, who
yes,
understands your way of life, who understands all the little intricacies that make
yes,
you who you are. And you're not going to find that from certain backgrounds.
absolutely not.
Not. And
One of
that's
the
just the
things,
plain truth.
yeah, and especially I worked in a clinic in an inner city area for many years. And when we had our children coming in from Jamaica, and parents would say, the spirit is on him, don't be
Yeah.
following him, and or Caucasian, therapists would say, we don't understand what they're saying. They would say, call Lorraine.
Yes.
Because I would sit down and explain to both the parents and the therapist one side what was going on, that this was someone new who came from the islands and wasn't so familiar with our culture, and also explain to the Jamaican parents that you're now in another culture and perhaps becoming more familiar, that you're now receiving services and being able to actually communicate with that therapist. So it was kind of a twofold conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some of these conversations kept that child in that home. Because as you
Yes.
know, some of the ways that we discipline our children in the island is a no-no in other culture.
Right.
And so that became just a holistic way of how that clinic choose to support is to have me as that person involved in that conversation. It was a very collaborative effort so that that child didn't have to be removed, but I would be a part of that child support. I wasn't the main therapist. I would come in and kind of explain, this is our culture. And so maybe for the next few months, until this family is really acclimated to our US culture, we would sidelines provide that support. And that's kind of what the diaspora is here to do,
Yes.
is to
Yes.
transition our families that are coming from Jamaica and other Caribbean islands into this culture. As you know, if we're educators, if we are social workers, if we're therapists, guidance counselors, there is a difference in the culture.
Absolutely. And I just have, you mentioned the diaspora, or I'm going to get into the diaspora. I just have one more question out of curiosity. In your practice, how does autism fall under the umbrella of your practice?
So you do find, I'm going to tell you, because of COVID,
Yeah.
we always had our teenagers and our young adults that are defined under the umbrella of cognitive disabilities. You can
Right.
see that coming from the age of 0 to 3 in terms of early intervention, and then maybe from from elementary, you will get that. It's a natural support that will occur.
Yes.
That and should occur, especially if our doctors are saying it and it gets passed on our school or or special education. Since COVID, you're seeing a rise in adults saying, I believe I have autism.
I know.
Can you do an assessment?
Yes. I hear it a lot. I think I'm
We're
on the
hearing it a
spectrum.
lot.
People keep saying, man, I might not look like some of those severe kids,
Yeah,
but I think
and
I'm on the spectrum. I'm hearing
I
it a
think I'm
lot.
on the spectrum. I'm hearing, and I'm kind of happy you asked that question, because I was wondering, am I the only person getting these requests
Oh
or
no. Oh
assessment?
no. Oh no.
Another disorder is ADHD, which,
Yes.
oh yes, you can see that a little bit more easier than the autism, spectrum. I'm like, did you receive, when the autism question is asked, I said, did you receive special education in school? No, I even had a double major in college, but I just feel as if I have autism.
Yes. It's happening a lot. And
It is.
I will say there are a lot of undiagnosed ADHD grown-ups and
Yes.
autistic grown-ups on the
Yes.
higher end of the spectrum, but with a touch of it, like we say. So, that said, thank you so much. You can tell I'm intrigued by that aspect of what you do, but also very intriguing, ladies and gentlemen, is that Miss Lorraine J. Smith is campaigning for Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative for the Southern United States. And so I just want to go through some of the stuff she says. You just heard her talk about her personal and professional career. She's committed to the economic, health, and cultural empowerment of Jamaica and the diaspora, focuses on issues such as reducing learning loss for all children, destigmatizing mental health issues, strengthening the labor force, creating pathways for greater engagement across the diaspora. Now, that's a lot. Ms. Smith, that is a lot on top of all that you're doing. So please explain to the audience why are you so motivated? Where's this zeal coming from to be the representative for the Southern United States in our diaspora?
I would say the zeal is coming from continuing the work. The work that I've been doing in the community, the work I've been doing in Jamaica, I do get a lot of calls from Jamaica to here asking for help. If someone is on the street needing help, I get it. If someone is here on the street in any state, doesn't matter what state, the boundaries are, it's gone, I do jump in and help. I've been a part of the Northeast diaspora because I've been living there for many years. And I've been a part of the Northeast diaspora, serving on the health sector as one of the co-chairs and covering mental health and being a part of the changes we've seen for the last 3 years under the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. And so I'd want to continue that work that started. What's driving the commitment to want to represent in the Southeast is the fact that I've moved here. During COVID, I moved to Georgia. But it's not just the move, it's the fact that when you meet someone, a regular person on the street, and you talk about the diaspora, especially here in the South, folks seems to be lost.
Yes.
They seem to have this blank look on their face, not knowing what the diaspora is. And so you have to fill in the blanks for them. So the mission to run and the desire to run and to continue to the work is not just to do the work that we've been doing, but it's also to engage those folks that do not know about the diaspora. We have 13 states in the South. And I don't think most people know that there's 13 states in the South that is part of the Southeast diaspora.
Right. The listeners to the Wayne Hall Show do. I talk about it all the time. The 13 states that Oliver Meir, our consul general, out of Miami, is in charge of. Yes.
Yes. 13 states.
Yes.
But sometimes I think because there's bigger states that tends to be active and be doing a lot of things, it overshadows the other states. So we know there's Florida, we know there's Georgia. We represent well. But there's other states that are out there. Even today I was having conversation in Texas. And Texas was telling me, well, there are people in New Mexico and there's people in Oklahoma and I've been to Tennessee. So we would like the Wayne Hall Show to be out there too, touching those other 11 states, because we know you're touching people in Florida and in Georgia, but we want you to echo that sound in those other states, because our Jamaicans are out there too, and to bring them in and have these conversations we're having, because they're out there and they're not aware of who the diaspora is, which is the diaspora is, that's them, the individuals that are here or that are Jamaican and living in the US. We would want them to be engaged and active. And imagine if it's only us that are doing this great work, and if we can find everyone else, we can even do it better.
All right. So you do have some, campaign points. But before I even get into the specifics of those, sounds like you're saying there's a lack. There's a lack from your vantage point. You're obviously seeing where there's a lack. Is this, from your angle of looking at it, is this an issue with the current representation, or is it the apparatus that drives the diaspora and these 13 states is just doesn't have the infrastructure to deliver better? What's your take on that?
I think it's more of the infrastructure in the way in which these are huge states. So you have to have purpose, as you know. You're an educator, so and someone who delivers as a mental health professional. You must have intentional communication when you go to broadcast. You intentionally try to reach these 13 states. It has to be in a way, it must be from a collaborative effort. So you want to engage all, you want to include all. You want to remember that not everyone is going to meet you through technology. Not everyone is going to meet you through the mass media. So there are folks who are going to meet you on the ground, and there are folks who are going to meet you in the streets, and there are folks who are going to meet you in the airwaves. So it has to be intentional. And there are folks who are going to meet you through the friends that they have. So you have to really blend it in terms of, reaching folks. And then there are folks who will meet you in the churches, and in the dance hall, It's different. We are Jamaicans, so we interact in a variety of ways, and we have to use those methods. But we cannot forget the person who came here, who work in the homes, who work in the cane fields, who work the laborers. We cannot forget the little people. And I don't want to say little people because none of us are big and small. We cannot forget who we are as Jamaicans, and then only keep it and allow people to feel that it's an elite group of people that are the diaspora. We are all a part of the diaspora. And I think that's how some people are feeling, that the diaspora is not for them. It is for those people. And we want to change that.
Well, there's some frustrations and red tape because a lot of times when we think we have a no-brainer for our leadership in terms of our organizations at the more grassroots level, and then our consulates and also the diaspora, people feel like they have what are no-brainer issues, but there's this red tape. Oh, I can't do this. You're going to have to go see that person. That person says, well, you're located in Georgia. So, I mean, using your campaign talking points, please tell us how you're going to influence this apparatus in a more user-friendly manner for your diasporians.
Well, I believe in, even though we said we have 13 states, it should be borderless. We want to do things in a more borderless and more user-friendly and more people-friendly and more person-centered. I think I'm touching on words that are
You're right.
Person-centered. It's not a word that you hear frequently in communities, but it's a community-based word. We must be more person-centered.
All right. And so tell us, on day one, and you're going to love my terminology here, on day one, what committed action
Oh my goodness, when you're putting me on the spot here, but yes,
what
go ahead.
committed action will we see from our newly elected global Jamaica diaspora representative for the Southern United States?
On day one, you will already see the 13 states in action. There will be organizations and people who are in these 13 states that we will have had already pinpoint that are key people that are doing the work in these 13 states. I can't do it by myself. So there will be a team. I see a group of people that are behind you. They may be that folks who support you are part of your team. Every leader have a team behind them. So you, on day one, you will see the formation of individuals from all these 13 states that are a part of this team. In order for these 13 states to be successful, there will be organizations that have been doing the work, and those organizations will be called forward to say, we must come together to serve from a borderless diaspora. So we can serve limitless, borderless and limitless, to engage all and to include all.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. She just outlined some committed action there. And I tell you what, though, in terms of getting you elected, in terms of you becoming the representative, how do we go about that?
So we, first of all, there is a registration process. And I'm not sure if that we're now saying that in order that you must be registered in order to vote, because there is some form of delay with our registration. It should have been from October 18 to November 16. However, our link is a little bit out there floating, and we have not been able to say to folks, go to this link as yet. We're hoping it will appear soon, but as soon as the link comes up, we would want folks to register. The voting process is from November 23rd to December 16th. What we will be doing, my campaign team will be doing, is making folks and relying on our supporters to do a chain communication. We do know that chain communication work. So one person tell 10 people, and those 10 people tell 10 people. And if you are ready for a change, and what a change look like is that you are the diaspora and you want to be actively engaged in what happens here when you are sick. If something happens, if God forbid there's another event like not like COVID. We don't want nothing else like COVID. But we do know that there's storms that comes ever so often, snowstorms, whatever other disasters that come. We want to be able to rally together as the diaspora, the southern diaspora, and also for the other regions. We have a Midwest and we have a Northeast. We are our brother's keeper to come together and support each other, communicate. So, with that said, we want to be able to have this kind of information gathering and pass the information along, so that you are able to vote. And when you do vote for your representative that you know will support you, when you knock on the door, there will be an answer. When you call on the phone, there will be someone to speak with you. In each state, there will be someone that you can talk to. The representative will have to show up at your activities. If I'm not there in person, there will be someone to represent. You will know that who your representative look like, sound like, for the next 3 years.
Well, it might just need someone with a background of working with mental illness to understand our diaspora. It might
And
just be that complex. So
and
I,
not just understand it, because you have folks who are professionals in mental health, but they're not people person. Not everyone who goes in mental health is called to be a mental health professional. You have to be called to be a mental health professional, be able to roll up your sleeve, put your hand in the mud, sit with the person on the street. There are Jamaicans here who have fallen, by the wayside and are on the street, not because they want to be on the street, but hard times do hit us. You must be able to go out there and sit with that person out there and say, look, man, we can get you off the street. Let us talk what it is that you need. I have done that and I continue to do that. I go home to Jamaica and I help people to get off the street just the same. You must have someone who can sit in the high seat, sit in the middle seat, and sit in the low seat.
I want to tell the audience how they can sign up. It's on the screen right there, sharing the screen with you right now. So the audience can see the information. The important dates, let me start with that. Voter registration, October 25th to November 17th. Nomination period is November 1st to 20th. And the voting period on here is November 21 to December 15th. And you must be Jamaican or Jamaican heritage and 18 plus to vote. All right. And you have an hashtag, man. You have hashtag L Smith number 4, the diaspora. So we need to put that out there, right? Hashtag L Smith, the number 4, the diaspora. L Smith for the diaspora. And below that on your page, it does say subscribe below to get updates and reminders. And you, for media and press inquiries, email buzz@NicoleWilliamsPR.com. That's BUZZ, buzz@NicoleWilliamsPR.com. So what else would you like to add to my audience this evening, for the audience this evening,
I
Miss
I just
Lorraine?
want to say I know the diaspora has been around for a while, and some people may or may not know. If you do know, I believe it's time for you to decide whether it is you want to move forward with a distinct change of how we represent you and what is it that we represent. And also, for those who don't know, you are the diaspora. For me, my theme is engage all, include all. I mean, we're not leaving anyone behind. We want to engage all. I'm going to just say for the 13 states, I know the Wayne All Show knows, but we're saying for those in your audience who may not
Yes.
know the 13 states, we want to hit them tonight as
Good.
Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, New Mexico, and Texas. So if you're in any of these states, we want you to actively be a part of the Southern USA diaspora.
Well, I tell you what, it's great that you're on our platform, because I'm going to do a little bragging right now. The Wayne Hall, I personally host Carnival in Alabama,
Ooh.
two events in Charleston, South Carolina. Their Carry Fest and their Reggae Wine and Jerk Festival. Um, I've been invited to be a part of a meeting. I don't want to get into too much of the details for another upstart carnival in another city in Alabama,
Ooh.
right? And due to the pandemic, I didn't get to host an organization, a Jamaican organization event in Texas. But I had a guest from there for the Atlanta Jamaican Association. They check out
Oh,
my show regularly.
yes,
I have a
yes.
following in Texas and San Antonio, believe it or not. So um, I'm saying all that to say that, I won't even mention Florida. I've been down there for like Pica and
Mm-hmm.
I do so much with Floridians. And when Florida-based businesses come to Atlanta, hey, they reach out to the Wayne Hall Show.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm bragging a little bit because when it comes to the diaspora, the Wayne Hall Show does know a thing or two about getting around and seeing some of the lack or some of the great things that are happening within the diaspora.
We want
So
to close the gap with the lack.
yes. So and it's not that it's not in good state and that it's not getting better, but you've got to make your point. You got to state your case. And I think you did very well tonight. I applaud you for throwing your hat in this contest. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And if there's nothing else to add, I would like to wish you a great rest of the evening and good luck.
Thank you. And I would say shout out to all my friends in at the Houston Foundation in
Okay.
Texas. I was at their gala this summer. So yeah.
Guess who voiced the ad that ran to advertise their
Yes,
gala?
yes,
Wayne
so
Hall.
absolutely. So I need to get down to Alabama. I'm making my
So
way there.
yep, yep. They've
So
got
yeah.
a real good thing going on down there. They had it in Bessemer this year. They actually have a couple. There's a Jamaica Day in Huntsville that I emceed
Nice.
for the last two
So
out of the
this
last
is
3
something that
years.
needs to be broadcast. I mean, certainly all over in a central point where we can celebrate and see it. Mm,
Exactly. So there you
yeah.
go. The Wayne All Show's got the framework, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
I'm in Huntsville, and then I'm in Bessemer, and that's actually the Birmingham that moved to Bessemer, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and from there we're in Charleston twice, and so on. And I'm saying all that to say we have Jerkfest here in Atlanta, big
Oh
event,
yes.
one of the
Oh
best
yes.
supported events all around.
I was
We're in
I
the
was at the
diaspora,
Jerk Fest in
right?
Atlanta. It was
You
great.
and you
Yeah.
remember the MC?
Rained, but great.
Do you remember the MC?
You know what? I came late because it was rain. You remember it rained all day? So yes, yes.
But
But it
that
rained all day.
I was one of your MCs there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good. Well, Miss Lorraine Smith, ladies and gentlemen, Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative, campaigning for the Diaspora Council representative in our 13 states that she was kind enough to name. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Wayne.
Don't be
And
a
I
stranger.
I hope to see you soon before
The
the election.
voting,
Yeah,
yes.
before the election and everything. We could talk about how do we push those other states, especially the states that we're saying that are out there that we're not hearing about. You've been there and you're doing great things, but we want to see them further
Yes, and
coming
that's
forward.
what's happening. We got offsprings of different states, of different cities.
Yes,
Might be in the same state, but that's how the fire spreads. From one
absolutely.
city to the next. The next thing you know, it's a neighboring city to another state. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna get there. But like you say, it's gonna take committed action. And you
Yes,
know
yes.
more about committed action than
Thank
probably
you. Thank
any
you
of
for
us
having me.
know.
Take
So,
care.
Miss Smith, it's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed our conversation. Good luck with everything. And
Thanks.
if you need to come back, if you need to revisit, let me know. I'm just a phone call away.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Great conversation there, ladies and gentlemen. As we make our way through another edition of the Wayne Hall Show, it was worth the wait. I'm so happy we finally got to speak to Miss Lorraine Smith this evening. Let me see here. I got some Miss Lorna Brown. Good evening. Connie Witter. Hi, Connie. How are you? Let me take Anthony down here. All right, good. Okay. I want to say shout out to King Tub, Laviluja, Janice O'Shea. Hello, Janice. How are you? Andrea Brown McNeish. Good evening. Beto. Papa Beto. How are you? Mr. Paul Thompson. Morphia Edwards. CR. Christine Rendell. Aya Sight. Linda Dosset. Janet Armstrong. Gail Five. Clyde Smith. JIIFSC. And everyone else watching on Facebook Live. Instagram, how we doing over there? All right. Also, we got to remember Linkage 101.7 and 104.5 FM, HypeFM, ClarkeTVNetwork, Viscosity Blend, Island Worldwide, Reggae Vibes Radio, Yardflow TV, Energy Radio 1, YouChooseRadiocom.com, Fresh FM Radio, Mixcloud, greetings, Restream, hello, YouTube, how we doing over there, and the waynehallshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go through my flyers real quick. On your screen is one happening this weekend, and that is the Wakanda Gala, if you may. That takes place this Saturday, November 5th, and it's from 6 p.m. Formal dinner at 7 p.m., and it's at 6650 North Andrews, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33311. Also happening this weekend is the Power International Women's Summit. Empower her to elevate her game and succeed. Wealth, legacy, and independence. Dr. Joan Wright Good is the facilitator. Dr. Charlotte Ashman is an educator. She's one of the main speakers. Natasia Wright, United Nations Ambassador, is another. And Miss Tamara Gammon, CEO of the 3 Dream Designs, LLC, will be your other main speaker. We also have a wonderful panel. 5 women, Dr. Olufunke Fontenot, Reverend Dr. Maxine Osborne Foster, Dr. Daima Longman, Catherine Bean, and Jasmine Lee. And they'll all be on the panel. Your tickets include lunch, entertainment, swag bags, education hacks, networking, excuse me, shopping opportunities, and more. And all this goes down at the AC Hotel, Atlanta Buckhead, Phipps Plaza, 3600 Waiuka Road, W-I-E-U-C-A, Waiuka Road, Northeast Atlanta. And you can register at powersummit22.eventbrite.com. Wow, that's a lot. That's why it's powerful. Okay, The Migraine Production presents on Saturday, November 5th, Retro Return, the best of the 80s, 90s, and 2000. Music by DJ Migraine. Free hors d'oeuvres. If you're celebrating your birthday, the cake is on The Migraines. Admission is $30. Time, 10 p.m. And it's at the JVC Event Hall, 4515 Stone Mountain Highway in Lilburn. And if you have questions about this, you can call 954-804-0403. That's 954-804-0403. We got some more stuff coming up to share with you. All right. We just talked. Okay. So we have coming up the Mikey Sparkle Christmas Party. That's Saturday, December 17th, featuring Lukie D. And they'll be back by the SWAT Band. And this takes place at the Grand Palais Banquet Hall, 3540 Club Drive, Lawrenceville, Georgia, 30044. Admission $60. For more, go to MikeySparkleOnline.com. There'll be DJs as well, DJ Carlton, DJ Cold Rice, and Boogsy Bam Bam. Let's see. Before that, though, we have Meals on Wheels, and that takes place on November 19th. Okay, at 7 p.m. and it's at Connect Point, 3755 Centerville Highway in Snellville, Georgia. And Meals on Wheels is featuring Nanimus and Friends, a great gospel show to look forward to. We also have the AJA Christmas on December 3rd. That's from 7 p.m. until midnight. Front page events, 8010 Rockbridge Road in Lithonia, Georgia. $45 online, $50 after November 27. Music by DJ Extreme. So begin your Christmas early with the AJA Christmas party. We have one more, and that is the Kingston College Old Boys presenting their 2022 George Thompson Scholarship Christmas Dance, Saturday, December 10th, and that takes place at 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. All right? It's going to be at the Autry Mills Clubhouse, 9825 Autry Falls Drive in Alpharetta, Georgia. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in to the Wayne Hall Show this evening. We appreciate you. Support the events we're talking about if you can, and please continue to be a listener of the Wayne Hall Show. Thanks to all our affiliates and our listeners as you make your way through another great Wednesday evening. It was a pleasure to be here, and I like to say, live and let love. Don't forget, the only way to start at the top is if you're digging a hole. Always look around for something great and encourage it, and be grateful. Until next time, same place, same blazing stations. The Wayne Hall Show saying, have a wonderful evening and take care.
She is a beauty. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Tell me who's loving you tonight. Tell me that you never left my side. Tell me, girl, I'm here to do you right. So right.